Life happened, growth happened, healing happened, and somewhere along the way, so did purpose. This isn't just a comeback, this is evolution. My name is Ani Long, and welcome back to Hey Girl, I See You, Season 2. We're talking faith, growth, leadership, healing, boundaries, purpose, and the real life lessons that shape who we become. No filters, no pretending, just real conversations, real growth, and real impact. So grab your coffee, your journal, or just a quiet moment for yourself. Because trust me, sis, I see you. Hey y'all, welcome back to Hey Girl, I See You podcast. Coach Ani here, and today we have a good one for you. We're going to be talking about healing loudly versus healing quietly. Today's conversation is one that's been sitting heavily on my heart because I think people often misunderstand what healing looks like. A lot of people, at times, when you hear the word healing, they automatically picture someone crying all day, disappearing from social media, isolating themselves, or just publicly talking through every emotion. But honestly, everyone doesn't heal the same way. Some people heal quietly while still handling responsibilities every single day. So people don't always look like what they've been through. We've heard that from our parents, from our grandparents. They just put that in our minds that people don't always look like what they've been through. And one thing life has taught me is this: just because somebody is smiling doesn't mean they didn't survive something. Sometimes the strongest people are carrying battles they never fully discuss publicly. Have you ever looked at somebody and just automatically thought they had it all together? They come to work, they show up at church, they smile, they encourage everybody around them, and you just assume that they were okay. What you didn't see was what happened before they left the house. You didn't see the tears. You didn't see the anxiety. You didn't see the nights they questioned themselves. You didn't see the losses they were carrying. And that's why I've learned not to judge people by what I see on the surface, because healing doesn't always wear a name tag. People can function while healing. And I think one thing people underestimate is how many women are healing while still being mothers, going to work, running businesses, serving others, supporting family, showing up at church, encouraging everybody else. Meanwhile, quietly trying to hold themselves together too. Healing isn't linear. One thing nobody talks about enough is that healing isn't a straight line. Some days you feel strong, some days you feel free, and then one random Tuesday, something reminds you of what you've been through, and suddenly you're emotional all over again. That doesn't mean you're moving backwards. That doesn't mean you fail. That doesn't mean you aren't healed. It means you're human. Healing has layers. Sometimes God reveals one layer at a time because that's all we're ready to carry. Let me say that again, because that was a good one. Sometimes God reveals one layer at a time because that's all we're ready to carry. Healing doesn't always look sad. And honestly, sometimes healing looks like laughter. Sometimes healing looks like creating again. Sometimes healing looks like reconnecting with yourself. People assume if you're smiling, being productive, or rebuilding your life, that you must not have gone through anything serious. Baby, some people heal by continuing to live. I think social media has created this idea that healing has to look dramatic. People expect healing to always look like crying. But what if healing looks like finally laughing again? What if healing looks like starting that business? What if healing looks like going back to school, writing that book, launching that podcast, setting that boundary? What if healing looks like walking away from what no longer serves you? Sometimes healing looks like creating a life you don't need to escape from anymore. Protecting your peace. One thing I've learned recently is that everybody does not deserve access to every part of your healing journey. Let me say that again. Everybody does not deserve access to every part of your healing journey. And that was a hard lesson for me because naturally I'm a caring person, a transparent person, and somebody who genuinely loves helping people. But healing also requires boundaries. And here's something I had to learn. Just because someone asks doesn't mean they are entitled to know. Everybody doesn't need the details. Everybody doesn't need access. Everybody doesn't deserve a front row seat to your rebuilding process. Some people genuinely care. Some people are simply curious. And wisdom is learning the difference. So let me tell you this, while we are on this healing journey, you are allowed to be rebuilt. Maybe somebody listening today needs permission to understand this. You are allowed to rebuild yourself privately. You do not owe the world a public explanation for every season of your life. You are allowed to heal, grow, rest, start over, rediscover yourself without announcing every detail. Maybe rebuilding looks like changing your environment. Maybe rebuilding looks like stepping away from unhealthy relationships. Maybe rebuilding looks like focusing on your education. Maybe rebuilding looks like choosing peace over popularity. Maybe rebuilding looks like finally putting yourself on your own priority list. In closing, let me leave you with this. If you've been wondering whether you're healing correctly, let me free you from that pressure today. There is no perfect way to heal. You don't have to cry publicly. You don't have to explain yourself. You don't have to prove your pain. You don't have to convince people you're growing. Just keep healing. Keep moving forward. Keep choosing peace. And trust that God knows exactly where you are in the process. And I promise you, that's enough. Thank y'all so much for spending time with me again today. If this episode spoke to you in any way, make sure you like, follow, and subscribe on Amazon Music, YouTube, Spotify, or wherever you enjoy your podcast. And don't forget to share this episode with somebody who may need a little encouragement today. New episodes premiere every Thursday at 6:30 p.m. I truly appreciate y'all rocking with me on this journey. And as always, please remember, hey girl, I see you.